Hola. Alright, so, you guys been doing this a long time today, huh?
Yes, we have.
How's the press treating you?
Really well. Yeah, they're good, man. Everybody seems to have enjoyed the second movie, which we were kind of nervous about, so...
Were you really nervous about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, after what happened with the first movie, you just want the same reaction, if not better, you know? So it's been good. Everyone said that they enjoyed it. After each interview, we always ask someone off camera, you know, so what do you think, man? What do you think? Because in these interviews, you might not get the truth, but everyone's been cool on it.
What? Yeah. Not the truth.
Mm.
Oh, well, yes, completely the truth.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, well, you talked about it after what happened in the first one. Were you anxious about the first one coming out, or nervous, or what were your feelings then, before it was released?
Yeah, I was really nervous before the first one. It was strange because while we were making it, I didn't feel nervous. It all felt like we were part of this kind of, you know, inside a bubble almost, kind of making this movie, and the days were so long, you didn't have time to think about it. And then just before the film came out, I really started to get nervous and think, oh my God, you know, we're playing these characters that people have been reading about for 50 years. So I was really nervous and incredibly happy the way it went, you know. So it's a different sort of kind of pressure this time. Now it's like, can we match the first one? Will people like it as much? And it seems to be that, you know, people like it more, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw, though, the reaction from the first one, building, and then almost, it's got huge. Was that surprising?
I honestly don't know how much I felt that. I've been saying this for the past year. I don't know how much of a grasp I had on the populace's like opinion of the movie, you know. It just, because you're in it, all I think about is certain things that happen on the day that we filmed things, or you know, how good someone was, how good your friend is in it, and you know, you can't watch it from an unbiased kind of audience's you know, opinion. And I think because of that, when I read reviews in the press, it's like you're reading about something slightly disjointed from you, you know. So I never felt the heat too much, and when you're in that thing, it's a hard thing for your brain to try and understand. It's much more easier for my family and friends to explain to me what's been happening, you know. For me, it's a whirl of lots of different things going on.
But it kept you guys busy. I saw you guys probably at 3 different award shows last year, or was it the year before last?
Yeah.
And I never won one.
But you guys travel as a group.
Yeah, we do. We travel in transit.
We hunt in packs.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah.
Because, I guess, I mean, this is a huge bonding experience as well, right?
Yeah, it just, you know, lots of great time spent together in a country that, you know, that seems to be built around young people, you know, just the outdoors, and there's so much sport going on, and, you know, everything was accessible to us in New Zealand, and you've got, you know, a whole bunch of people who just wanted to spend time with each other, and since the end of the movie, it's not really changed, you know. Elijah lives in LA, and so do I, and Orlando's been there, Vigo lives there, Billy was in Mexico, we'd go down every weekend and see him, and been on the phone to Ian McKellen, and you know, it's just this family, this kind of fellowship just continues to keep going.
Nice little kind of side note to a big successful movie as well.
Sure, I mean, that's the important stuff in life, right? As you go through, if you can pick up, you know, a friend a year that you really feel like you're going to spend the rest of your life interacting with, and last year, or the year before I should say, I was so lucky to pick up, you know, 15 friends that you continue to interact with. So
that's 14 years you've got without any new friends?
20, yeah, 47 hours.
Yeah.
12 hours until I find my next friend.
Yeah, at least.
Could be that.
Well, let's hope so.
Could be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about now this one. When you're shooting this one, how much time did you guys spend in the tree?
So much time, like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
They built an animatronic tree that was 18 foot high, and you could climb on it, and it had branches with hands at the end, as you know from the movie, and myself and Dom would sit in these hands quite a lot, but it would move around, you know, so you'd be at ground level and it would sweep up to its face, up to Treebeard's face, so you'd be 18 feet up in the air, so you had to be harnessed in. So when we get in the morning, we'd get harnessed in, start doing the scenes, and then after a while, getting down for tea breaks and things was just like such a hassle to get the harness off and stuff. So we said, you know, just hand up a cup of tea and we'll just stay up here. So the studio would empty, and it would just be me, Dom, and Treebeard in this huge warehouse studio, just sitting talking to each other until people, you know, decided to come back. So it was, we would spend 15 hours, 14 hours up a tree every day.
Good times. Yeah.
And the tree moved?
Yeah. Had a walking motion, didn't actually have legs, couldn't actually propel itself forward, but it could do the kind of knee joint and the hip joint movement of, you know, this kind of thing. And we're sat up here, so his arms would move and we'd be lolling around, and it was, you had to really hang on, didn't you? Otherwise you'd fall. Yeah, you can move.
And did you guys at that point have any idea what was going on the other shoots?
We would have monitors where we would go around and see what we'd previously shot, and there'd be a small monitor of Elijah and Sean and Andy Serkis, and then another monitor of Vigo doing a scene, you know. And Pete would come in and we'd say, how's it going over there? And he'd tell us, and then he'd stay with us for an hour and he'd go off and do stuff. So we were always in contact, and at night we'd all go for dinners if we were in the same part of New Zealand and catch up. But that was a strange time to be away from these people that we'd spent the whole first movie with, and, you know, to be off on our own was kind of weird.
Because you guys were really kind of off on your own for most of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the start of this movie, we were with the orcs, you know, prisoners of war, and of course most of those orcs were stuntmen in these costumes, so we knew them really well. So we had a really good time during that period because, you know, we'd go with the stuntmen and spend all day with them, and they're really, really good fun.
Yeah, they go hard.
Yeah.
They're crazy hard drinking.
And then the Treebeard thing was the kind of surreal time of the shoot, as I remember it. You know, it was all kind of quite comic, in fact, not what we're doing on screen, but any time the cameras were off, you know, there's always something kind of weird going because you were stuck up this tree so long. So it was, yeah, it was a good time though.